Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino questionnaire by me. So let's get into it. You should have known something was wrong. The door had clicked shut behind you both with a sound far too final and far too heavy. And so you turned the knob once, twice, then pulled harder, putting your whole weight into it. And there was nothing. Just that stubborn, unmoving resistance. "Don't tell me," you muttered. "That we're locked in? I had a feeling." Of course she did. You turned toward her, surprised by how calm she looked. Her arms crossed, expression unreadable. Her gaze flicked to the door, then to the small room itself. An unused storage basement in some Fontaine official's estate. One of the many places you'd broken into today. To be fair, the intel did say this place was abandoned. It's never abandoned when we need it to be. She sighed, and there was a small pause. And then she added, "It seems we're stuck here for the time being." And that was the beginning of the problem, because the room was small. Too small to feel casual. Too small to avoid each other. Too small to hide the fact that her presence always left you feeling breathless. And now, that presence filled the entire room. You stepped back, pretending to examine the door again. "We should check for another exit." "There isn't one. If there was, I would have used it already." "So we just sit here?" "For now, yes." "Great. Perfect. Exactly what you wanted. Time alone with the most intense, intimidating, confusing person you ever met." You rubbed the back of your neck, thinking that this is fine. Totally fine. There was nothing weird or wrong about this. Arlecchino raised an eyebrow, staring at you. "You're acting strange." "A little claustrophobic, that's all." "That's a lie." You froze. She stepped toward you. There wasn't even that much of a distance in the first place. But she moved even closer anyway. "You're nervous," she said softly, and your throat tightened. "No." "Lying again?" Her voice dropped lower, almost amused. "You do that when I'm too close." You hated how accurate she was. She stopped a single step away, close enough that you could feel the heat of her, close enough that your breath stuttered in your chest. "Don't worry, I'm not going to bite." "You say that, but you're you." She tilted her head. "Is that an insult or a compliment?" "Both?" Her lips twitched, and silence stretched between you, strangely intimate, unsettling in how personal it felt. Finally, she stepped back, as much as she could, giving you some space. And you sat on an overturned crate. Your nerves finally calmed after some minutes passed, her presence settling beside you, warm and familiar, instead of overwhelming. Then she said quietly, "You're trembling." You looked down, and down it. Your hands were shaking slightly. "I'm not scared." "I never said you were." "But something is definitely upsetting you." You swallowed hard. "It's just embarrassing." "What is?" Maybe it was the room. Maybe it was the quiet. Maybe it was the fact that it was just the two of you. in such a small space where everything was so obvious and clear. I get nervous around you, you admitted in a small voice. I didn't want you to notice. Her breath caught. For the first time since you'd met her, Arlecchino didn't know what to do with her hands. She rested them on her knees, folded them, then unfolded them again. She looked almost flustered. Why? Have you seen yourself? Do you know what you're like? You walk into a room and everyone either respects you or fears you or you get nervous. You nodded, and a long moment of silence followed. I don't want you to fear me. Your heart clenched. I don't. Not like that. How then? You hesitated, then said the truth before you could stop yourself. You make me feel unsteady, in a good way, like I want to impress you. She stared at you, blinking once, twice. Then shockingly she laughed. You want to impress me? That's not funny. It very much is. Because I spend half my day trying not to stare at you too long. What? You irritate me. What do you mean? You're something I'm not accustomed to. I find myself thrown off balance. Heat rise to your cheeks, and you feel the room getting warmer and warmer. Or maybe it was just you, but you'd rather it be the room. She didn't look at you when she said that, but she held your hand. I suppose I don't mind being stuck with you. Warmth bloomed in your chest. I don't mind it either. She exhaled, and even looking at her from the side, you could see that small tell to her lips. It was a smile, subtle and hidden, and not one that everyone would easily notice. But you're not just anyone. And anything that had to do with her was something that you would notice. And eventually you do get out of the room. But that conversation you've had, it was something that was going to be stuck with you in a way that was much more permanent and life-changing. Even if you wouldn't mention it again, at least not for the first few days.